Please stand while our lodge's choir together sings Star Spangled Banner. My brothers, ladies, and friends, the purpose of this service is to honor our country's flag, to celebrate the anniversary of its birth, and to recall the achievements attained beneath its folds. It is quite appropriate that such a service be held by the Order of Elks, an organization that is distinctively American, intensely patriotic, and without counterpart. Esteemed leading knight, what are the fraternal aims of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks?
To inculcate principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity. To promote the welfare and happiness of mankind. To uphold our country and its laws and to quicken the spirit of American patriotism.
Esteemed leading knight, what is the significance of the American flag?
It is emblematic of the crowning virtue, charity.
Esteemed loyal knight, what is the significance of the American flag?
It is emblematic of justice for all.
Esteemed lecturing knight, what is the significance of the American flag?
It is a symbol of brotherly love.
Sister Esquire, what is the significance of the flag from the station of the exalted ruler?
It is the symbol of fidelity.
Charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity are the cardinal principles of our order. And they are exemplified in all of our services. By them we teach love of country and our countrymen and loyalty to our American way of life. To be an elk is to be an American citizen who lives for his country and is ready to die for it. Please stand. The chaplain will lead us in prayer.
Almighty God, in this hour of patriotic observance of the birthday of the American flag, we ask that you bless our flag and the people of these United States. For all that our flag represents, both at home and abroad, we thank thee. And through all our history as a nation, it has been an instant of freedom, liberty, and opportunity. And through the years to come, may this flag wave as the banner of liberty, freedom, and enlightenment. May this service bring to each of us a sense of loyalty to our country and enable us to be better patriots, truer citizens, and more loyal Americans to the glory and to the honor of this great nation. Amen. Amen.
Please be seated. That we may better understand the meaning of the flag, I will explain the history of the flag. Heraldry is as old as the human race. The carrying of banners has been a custom among all peoples in all ages. These banners usually contain some concept of the life and government of those who fashioned them. The evolution of the American flag marks the progression of the government of the American people. From the landing of the Pilgrims in 1620 until 1775, the flag of England was the flag of the peoples of America. In 1775, the pine flag was adopted for all colonial vessels, and this was the banner carried by the Continental forces in the Battle of Bunker Hill. The southern colonies from 1776 to 1777 used the state flag. In the latter part of 1775, the Continental Congress appointed a committee to consider the question of a single flag for the 13 colonies. That committee recommended the design of 13 alternate stripes of red and white with an azure field in the upper corner bearing the red cross of St. George and the white cross of St. Andrew. John Paul Jones, the senior lieutenant of the ship Alfred, hoisted this flag to the masthead on December 3rd, 1775. And 1 month later, it was raised over the headquarters of General Washington at Cambridge, Massachusetts. In compliment, he wrote to the United Colonies. This flag, called the Continental Colors of the Grand Union, was never carried in the field by the Continental Land Forces, but was used by the Navy as its exclusive ensign and was the first American flag to receive a salute of honor, a salute of 11 guns from the Fort of Orange in the Dutch West Indies. In response to the general demand for a banner more representative of our country, the Congress on June 4th, 1777 provided that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes of alternating red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white upon a blue field, representing a new constellation. It is generally believed that in May or June of 1776, a committee consisting of George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross commissioned Betsy Ross, an American Philadelphia Quakeress, to make a flag from a rough design they left with her. It is said that she suggested that the stars should have 5 points rather than 6. This starry banner was first floated at Fort Stanwix, called Fort Schuyler at that time, near the city of Rome, New York, on August 3rd, 1777, and was under fire 3 days later at the Battle of Oriskany, August 6th, 1777, during a British and Indian attack. The first official salute to the Stars and Stripes was given February 14th, 1778 by France on the French coast, when the Ranger, under the command of John Paul Jones, was saluted by the French fleet. This flag, then carried by the Ranger, was made by the young women of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, from the stripes of their best-colored silk dresses and the white wedding gown of a recent bride. It is said that at this time, Ranger's flag was flown by Jones' ship, the Bonhomme Richard, in thrilling flight by moonlight upon the high seas, with the British frigate Serapis. When the Serapis struck her colors, the immortal fame of John Paul Jones was ensured as the intrepid defender of the youthful republic. The original 13 stars and stripes represented the original 13 colonies. In 1795, 2 additional stars and stripes were added to represent admission to the Union of Vermont and Kentucky. Upon this banner of 15 stars and stripes was fought the War of 1812. It was the site of this flag over Fort McHenry on February 14, 1814, that inspired Francis Scott Key to write what was to become our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Miss Margaret Young, who cut the stars for that particular banner, subsequently became the mother of Henry Sanderson, the grand result ruler of the Order of Elks in 1884. The Congress on April 14, 1818, adopted a resolution that on and after July 4, 1818, the number of stripes should be 13, and that the blue field should carry 1 star for each of the 20 states in the Union, and that a new star should be added for each state and thereafter permitted. Since 1918, there has been no change in the flag design except that 28 new stars were added before July 4th, 1912. And this flag of 48 stars flew over this nation for 47 years until just before the Vietnam War. On July 4th, 1959, a star was added for Alaska, our first non-connected state, and a year later, Hawaii, our 50th state. Our present flag, 50 stars and 50 stripes. 13 stripes. Please stand and salute our flag. As this emblem is first in our hearts as loyal Americans, so is it close to our altar as loyal Elks. The gentle breezes with lingering caress, kiss the folds of their flag which can compare with it in beauty. There is no such red in budding rose, in falling leaf, or sparkling wine. No such white in April blossom, in crescent moon, or mountain snow. No such blue in woman's eye, in ocean's depth, or heaven's dome. And no such pageantry of clustering stars and streaming light in all the spectrum of sea and sky. Please be seated. Our flag is at once a history, a declaration, and a prophecy. It represents the American nation as it was at its birth. It speaks for what it is today, and it holds the opportunity for the future to add other stars to the glorious constellation. The Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks, the first and only fraternal body to require formal observance of Flag Day. In July of 1908, the Grand Lodge of this order at Dallas, Texas, then assembled, provided for the annual nationwide observance of Flag Day on the 14th of June in each year by making it mandatory upon each subordinate lodge of the order. This unique distinction as the originator of Flag Day is most becoming to the Order of Elks. This order is distinctively American. Only American citizens are eligible to join it, and it has no foreign affiliations. It has linked its destiny with the destiny of our country and made this flag its symbol of self-dedication to God, to country, and to fellow men. Please stand and join in singing God Bless America.
And noblest in all history. In the days when peoples of the old world groveled and object homage to the heresy of the divine rights of kings, the new constellation appeared in the western skies, the Stars and Stripes, symbolizing the divine right of all to life, liberty, happiness, and peace under endowment by their Creator. To what man or woman is given words adequate to tell the story of the building of this nation? That immortal story is written in blood and sweat, and in heroic deeds, unremitting toil, in clearing the primeval forests, and in planting the vast prairies where once the coyote and the buffalo roamed. Onward swept the nation, spanning wide rivers, leaping vast mountain ranges, leaving in its path villages and farms and factories and cities, till at last the giant nation stood astride the continent from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This is the heritage of the people of the United States. It has been repurchased by each succeeding generation and must be won again, again, and again until the end of time, lest it too shall pass, that the ancient, like the ancient empires of Greece and Rome. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. What was won at Lexington, Concord, and Bunker Hill, and to be repurchased at Ticonderoga and Yorktown. What John Paul Jones achieved upon the high seas in the World War and the War of Independence had to be repurchased by Commander Perry on Lake Erie in the War of 1812. The prestige of Admiral Dewey's victory at Manila Bay in 1898 was re-won by the naval battles in the sea about the far distant islands of the Pacific. After the sneak attacks upon Pearl Harbor and Manila in 1941 had summoned our country to assume its role in World War II. What our troops achieved under the Stars and Stripes in Chateau Thierry and Flanders in World War I, their sons were required to repurchase in World War II, and the bloody trek across northern Africa, on the beachheads of Europe, and in the Battle of the Bulge. The flag of American men raised at Iwo Jima was the same flag later raised in the defense of Incheon, Busan, Port Chop Hill, and far-off Korea. And then another generation under the same flag bled to stem the threat of communism in a far-off Vietnam. Our young people were again called to carry our flag in the defense of our free world in the actions of Grenada and Panama. Willingly, our brave men and women carried our flag in the honor of the American people into the battle in Operation Desert Storm. And who among us will ever forget the sight of firefighters raising the flag over the ruins of the World Trade Center? The military personnel draping our flag on the side of the Pentagon, or the citizens of Somerset County, Pennsylvania, placing our flag near the site where brave Americans died, fighting the hijackers of flight number 993. No other symbol could have offered such comfort as we still today endure the horrors of that day. Today, American Armed Forces carry our flag in the villages of Iraq, the mountains of Afghanistan, the jungles of the Philippines, and wherever terrorism may reside. Their struggle against the sponsors of terrorism is the hardest battle yet. And this threat to our nation and to our way of life is certainly as great a challenge to our flag as ever seen. The resurgence of patriotism since September 11, 2011 has rekindled respect for our flag. Today, we see the Star-Spangled Banner whenever we turn on homes and businesses and automobiles and billboards. Such displays stimulate our love for our nation and for what it stands. They remind us of the sacrifices being made by the men and women of our armed forces around the world, and they are a tribute to the heroes of the police and fire departments the nation over. The greatest significance of this flag, however, lies in the influence it has had in the hearts and minds of millions of people. It has waved over the unparalleled progress of a nation in developing democratic institutions, scientific and theological knowledge, education, and culture. It has served as a beacon for millions of poor, oppressed refugees abroad, and stands as a promise that the number underprivileged will not be forgotten. When the meaning of the flag, is the meaning of the flag of the United States? There can never be a definite answer to that question. There are people in the world who see it as a symbol of imperialism. Others see it as a destiny of the people. But reference to these and similar views of the flag was resolved when Woodrow Wilson said, "This flag, which we honor and under which we serve, is the emblem of our country, is the emblem of our unity, our power, our thought, and shape of this nation. It has no other character than which we give it from generation to generation. The choices are ours. Only love, true love of our fellow man can create peace. This emblem and token that the love is the stars and stripes, the symbol of the American way of life. Our Father's God, to Thee, author of liberty, to Thee we sing. Long may our land be bright, with freedom holy light, protect us thy might. Great God, our King. Thank you.
Sister Esquire, how shall we further honor our flag?
The flag is formally honored by the Pledge of Allegiance. This pledge was written in 1892 by Francis Bellamy and published in the Youth's Companion as part of a patriotic campaign of that magazine. The pledge did not become a part of the flag code until 1942, and in 1954 the phrase "under God" was added.
Let us all stand and pledge ourselves never to forget the principles represented by this flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. At this time, I'd like to call upon Elk Member Les Shreve, a United States Air Force veteran. Les Shreve is past post commander of Frank B. Bartlett Post 7 of the American Legion, and he's currently District 3 commander.
I have a reading, I Am the Flag, by Ruth Apperson Rausch. I am the flag of the United States of America. I was born on June 14, 1777, in Philadelphia. There, the Continental Congress adopted my Stars and Stripes as the national flag. My 13 stripes, alternating red and white with a union of 13 white stars in a field of blue, represented a new constellation, a new nation dedicated to the personal and religious liberty of mankind. Today, 50 stars form my union, one for each of the 50 sovereign states in the greatest constitutional republic the world has ever known. My colors symbolize the patriotic ideals and spiritual qualities of the citizens of my country. My red stripes proclaim the fearless courage and integrity of American men and boys and women, and the self-sacrificing devotion of American mothers and daughters. My white stripes stand for liberty and equality for all. My blue is the blue of heaven, loyalty, and faith. I represent these eternal principles: liberty, loyalty, and faith. I embody American freedom, freedom of speech, religion, assembly, the press, and the sanctity of the home. I typify that indomitable spirit of determination brought to my land by Christopher Columbus and by all my forefathers, the Pilgrims, Puritans, settlers of Jamestown and Plymouth. I am as old as my nation. I am a living symbol of my nation's law, the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights. I voice Abraham Lincoln's philosophy, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. I stand guard over my nation's schools, the seedbed of good citizenship and true patriotism. I am displayed in every schoolroom throughout my nation. Every schoolyard has a flag for my display. Daily, thousands upon thousands of boys and girls pledge allegiance to me and my country. I have my own law, Public Law 829, the Flag Code, which definitely states my correct use and display for all occasions and situations. I have a special day, Flag Day, June 14th. It's set aside to honor my birth. Americans, I am the sacred emblem of your country. I symbolize your birthright, your heritage of liberty purchased with blood and sorrow. I am your title deed of freedom, which is yours to hold and hold in trust for posterity. If you fail to keep this sacred trust inviolate, if I am nullified and destroyed, you and your children will become slaves to dictators and oppressors. Eternal vigilance is your price for freedom. As you see me silhouetted against the peaceful skies of my country, remind yourself that I am the flag of your country and that I stand for what you are, no more and no less. Guard me well, lest your freedom perish from the earth. dedicate your lives to those principles for which I stand. One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I was created in freedom. I made my first appearance in the battle of human liberty. God grant that I may spend eternity in my land of the free and the home of the brave, and that I shall ever be known as Old Glory, the flag of the United States of America.
Thank you, Les, for that rousing tribute. I'd also like to thank all the members of local veterans organizations, Frank Bartlett Post 7, American Legion, VFW Post 3663, DAV Post 36. I'd like to thank my color guards over here, both sides. I'd like to introduce our lodge officers. Far left, Marcy Gamble. This way, Rose Clutter. Mary Albaugh, Jim Phillips, and Heather Perry. And Trustee Sonny Matthews,
I'm also a member of both.
and he's a member of Elks and both the local veterans organizations. He's provided our music today as organist. In conclusion of this service of Flag Day, let us rededicate ourselves to the flag of the United States of America, and may the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity increase in each of us. I now declare this service closed. There will be service.